Okay, let's get it. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Give me a replay, gang. If you're checking out the replay, um, obviously, we have a whole family here for you. Millionaire Minded .com is where you can join the family. If you don't get the newsletter every single Friday, I just want to explain it real quick. It always starts off with the mindset section because you're going to get an insight, some small insight that'll change and shift your philosophy. As you always know, we talk about the lifestyle syntax. If you don't like your lifestyle, look at your results. You don't like your results, look at your activity. You don't like your activity, look at your attitude. And if you don't like your attitude, look at your philosophy. So we always give you some kind of mindset bending insight. That's the first section. The second section is always heart set, where we give you a really strong quote from somebody who is notable in history or in our present time. And then I give you the source that we got the quote from. So that's the heart set section. And then there's the skill set section where I give you Hazik's technique of the week. Incredible information that'll allow you to kind of like spread the word to your sales staff or your team or your organization. And you can do the whole thing in like 7 minutes. There's a mindset section, a skill set section, and a heart set section. So please spread the word. Let them know we are in the house. And we're going to get started real soon. Make sure you check out the newsletter. Share that with a few other people.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time. Because we're going to bring the millionaire out of the youth.
Please enter your...
That's right. Let's go, y'all.
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
All right. Spread this broadcast real quick. Sounds like somebody's trying to get in the office. I'll be right back in a minute. Let them know we here, y'all. Hey, good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. Hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning.
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash.
Nah, we already did that. If you do not know
your PIN, please enter pound or hash.
We already did that. Y'all been repping y'all city? Y'all been letting them know what the business is? Yeah, good morning, Tanisha. Miss Foster's in the house. What's up, Corey? Uhura's in the house. Let's go, Cindy. Let's go, Carvel. Let's go. All right. Flono checking in from the gym. That's what I'm talking about. What's up, P.O.? Hey, that's a good thought for the morning. If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way. Ain't that right, E1? Yeah, Mr. Ruffin. Let's go. Let's go. Now, y'all couldn't hear me on the phone because I wasn't there, bro. What up, Chelsea? Let's go. Samaya's in the house. Let's get it. Let's get it. My man Dennis Thicklin is up in here. Kim Connor. All right. I'm trying to shout out everybody I could, but good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling powerful this morning. I hope you feel in control. What we're going to do today is continue our conversation about emotional intelligence, because this weekend's Kaizen Academy is going to focus on that quite a bit. We're going to focus on emotional intelligence. We're going to focus a little bit on some of the elements that you can kind of utilize to become mentally stronger, to have a stronger sense of mental toughness. Maybe you guys remember, maybe you don't. But yesterday I gave a whole bunch of you what we call the feeling wheel. Everybody recognize this, the feeling wheel? Because emotional intelligence, I gave you the 5 levels of it yesterday. Anybody remember them? What's the first level of emotional intelligence? Anybody remember? Anybody remember what the first level of emotional intelligence was? I'll give you a clue. The first one is being able to recognize your own emotions. Anybody remember that? Anybody remember what the second level is? The second level of emotional intelligence is being able to manage your emotions. Anybody remember the third level? The third level of emotional intelligence is being able to recognize emotions in other people. Y'all remember this? This was all in yesterday's training. Somebody should be able to flip open their power book and refer back to the notes. If you don't have a power book, I suggest using the Color Me Millionaire visualization and affirmation coloring book, because you'll not only have some sign like this to color in with your future estate with the helipad on the top, but then there's a note page, right? The note page always has an ill quote on there. The thing about your dreams is they still look far even when they get close. Difficult roads often lead to beautiful destinations. What a thought, right? And then it calls you millionaire. It's like, dear millionaire, just to remind you who you are, But you should be able to flip open that thing and then check out your notes from yesterday. Come on now. The fourth level of emotional intelligence is being able to manage relationships. And then the fifth level of emotional intelligence, as we discussed yesterday, is being able to motivate yourself to do what it is you're supposed to be doing. Somebody say there are 5 levels of emotional intelligence, and then give me a share. There are 5 levels of emotional intelligence, and then give me a share. When emotional intelligence first appeared to the masses, it seemed peculiar, kind of like how they did with chiropractors and stuff like that. But what you had here was a missing link. Millionaires, emotional intelligence is a missing link. They were trying to figure out why so many people with average IQ outperformed the people who are allegedly the smartest, right? People with average IQs outperform people with the highest IQs 70% of the time. They were trying to figure out why. This anomaly threw a massive monkey wrench into their assessments, this broadly held assumption that IQ was the key to success, that IQ was some sole source of how you're going to get a fulfilling life. But they've done decades of research at this point, y'all. And what they figured out is that there's something much deeper than IQ, y'all. There's EQ. Decades of research have now shown that EQ is the critical factor that separates these star performers from the rest of the pack. The connection is so strong, y'all, that they have now done the data to figure out that 90% of top performers have high EQ. Somebody write that in if you want to stamp that in your subconscious. 90% of the world class, 90% of the top performers have high emotional intelligence. It's more rare than book smarts, but check it out. It's also way more important when it comes to the making of a leader. You just can't ignore emotional intelligence. It's that little something in each of us that's a little bit intangible, but it affects how we manage behavior. It affects how we navigate social complexities. It affects how we make personal decisions that are going to help us achieve the results we want. But even despite the fact that EQ is so powerful, its intangible nature kind of makes it difficult to know how much you have and what you can do to improve if you're lacking, right? You can always take different tests that they got. There's a test that comes with this book from Daniel Goleman called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. There's a test that comes with it. But unfortunately, these tests ain't free, right? So what we're going to do this morning is give you some behaviors that you want to eliminate from your repertoire because they may show that you have low EQ. You can sabotage yourself with low EQ. Appreciate that, Samaya. Appreciate that, Pastor Dandridge. Welcome, TL. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So here's the first one. I'm going to try to run through all 11 of these in one session. So y'all got to take notes quick, but obviously you'll get to rewind it. I want to challenge you to look at these behaviors we're about to run down and ask yourself, is this something you kind of deal with? Y'all ready? All right, here's the first one. You get stressed out really easily. That's why I give you the feeling wheel. You know, join the newsletter if you want the feeling wheel, or just inbox me for the feeling wheel. And then I'm going to ask y'all, if you join the newsletter. Appreciate that, Jamal. That's a strong point. Hit the heart button, everybody. Hit the heart button if you've gotten some value so far. If you haven't, you can be like, man, wow me, Hazi. I ain't just hearting anything. But if you already feel the vibes, hit the heart button, please, because that'll show this to more people. All right, here we go. Appreciate that, Jamal. All right, here we go. The first one is you get stressed really easily. You get stressed really easily. When you stuff your feelings, right, they quickly build into these uncomfortable sensations of tension, anxiety, stress. The cortisol starts to build up. That's why every morning on the affirmation call, we have you do these breathing exercises so you can lower the cortisol. Unaddressed emotions start to strain the mind and the body, right? Your emotional intelligence skills then help make stress more manageable by enabling you to spot the stress and then tackle the tough situations before things start to escalate. Can I get a witness? Is that powerful? Is that powerful? People who fail to use their emotional intelligence skills, they're more likely to turn to other less effective methods of managing their mood. So these are the ones that are twice as likely to experience anxiety. And anxiety ain't the problem, y'all. It's how we deal with the anxiety that's the problem. You should harness your anxiety. You should acknowledge your anxiety. You should see where your anxiety is pointing you. We just don't make it our master. Does that make sense? But if you don't have high IQ, you're more than twice as likely to experience anxiety, depression, substance abuse, even suicidal thoughts. Here's the second one. Here's the second sign that you might be self-sabotaging yourself with low EQ and therefore need to participate in the Kaizen Academy this weekend. Here's the second one. You have difficulty asserting yourself. You have difficulty asserting yourself. That's number 2 that I got for you. What do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? People who have high emotional intelligence, they tend to be able to balance good manners, empathy, and kindness with the ability to assert themselves. There's this book that everybody was suggesting when I asked for everybody's favorite books from last year, right? There's one called No Boundaries, No Peace. K-N-O-W, no boundaries, and you'll know peace, right? But check it out. Can you balance having good manners? Can you balance having kindness? Can you balance having empathy with also establishing boundaries? This is a tactful combination. This is kind of difficult for a lot of people. When most people are crossed, when most people are ticked off, they default to passive aggressive behavior. I know that's me. My business partner just told me that when somebody triggers me, I can get a little passive aggressive sometimes. Oh, I need to work on my emotional intelligence because people with high EQ are able to remain balanced. Like he's really good at remaining balanced and yet assertive. He'll steer himself away from unfiltered emotional reactions. You got me? Now you can neutralize difficult people. You can neutralize toxic people without creating enemies. Right? Can I get a witness? Sometimes we end up burning bridges to light our way. Right? Here's a third one. You have a limited emotional vocabulary. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, so I won't beat a dead horse. I won't beat a dead Porsche. I won't beat a dead horse. I got this retainer in. But anyway, how's your emotional vocabulary? Yesterday we talked about instead of saying I'm sad, you can say it makes me feel nostalgic, right? All people experience emotions, but it's a select few who can accurately identify them, right? That can spot them as they occur. Our research shows that only 36% of people can do this. And this is problematic because unlabeled emotions a lot of times go misunderstood. What does that lead to? Irrational choices. What does that lead to? Counterproductive actions. What does that lead to? Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage. People with high emotional intelligence, they're able to master their emotions because they're able to understand from whence they come. You got me? That's why that feeling wheel is so powerful. And, they're going to use this extensive vocabulary that they have. So somebody else over here is saying they feel bad. Emotionally intelligent people can say, I feel irritated. Nah. I feel frustrated. Nah. I feel kind of downtrodden. Right? I feel kind of anxious. You see, the more specific your word choice, the better insight you have into exactly how you're feeling, exactly what caused it, exactly what you should do about it. Am I making sense? Here's the fourth one. If you have low emotional intelligence, you make assumptions quickly and then defend them vehemently. It's like, listen, dude, you got to pick your battles. What the heck are you doing arguing for 30 minutes over something so petty, right? And then what do you think you're learning by pounding your point into this other person? Why are you making assumptions so quickly? And then why are you so sure that you're right? Why are you so sure it's so important to be right? People who lack emotional intelligence, they form opinions really quickly. And then because they aren't really sure about their opinion, their ego kicks in. And now they got to defend it. Or they succumb to what we called yesterday confirmation bias, meaning that what they do is gather a bunch of evidence that supports the opinion they already had, and they ignore any evidence to the contrary. They argue to support it. And I mean argue incessantly, ad nauseum. They're going to keep on going with it. And I'm going to tell you what else, because this is especially dangerous for leaders, as their under thought out ideas become the entire team's strategy, they're leading everybody to hell. You hear me? But emotionally intelligent people let their thoughts marinate a little something, something, because they know that their initial reactions could be driven by emotion. And your feelings are not facts. You got me? So what the emotionally intelligent do is give their thoughts time to develop. They give themselves time to consider any possible consequences, any possible counter arguments, and then they communicate the developed idea in the most effective way possible, right? Because now they're able to take into account the needs, the problems, the values, the opinions of their audience. Is this making sense, y'all? Here's number 5. This is a sign you self-sabotage. You hold grudges. Do you hold grudges, millionaire? A lot of times the negative emotions that come with holding onto a grudge are actually a stress response, a bit of a trauma response. You know the kinds of events I'm talking about, where just thinking about it sends your body into a fight or flight mode, right? A survival mechanism that forces you to stand up. right? It forces you to either run for the hills or it forced you to like, let's do this, right? Y'all ready to throw down. When a threat is imminent, that reaction is survival itself. It's essential to you being able to live another day. But when a threat is ancient history, holding under that stress is killing you. It can have devastating health consequences. They did a study at Emory University right here in Georgia that kind of talked about how when you hold under stress, it starts to contribute to your high blood pressure. It starts to contribute to heart disease. Type that in and give me a share so I can make sure you're letting somebody know. Stress equals heart disease and high blood pressure. And if you want to get more on point, you can say holding grudges leads to heart disease. Keeping that stuff in your heart leads to heart disease. Isn't that interesting? Holding grudges equals high blood pressure and heart disease. I dare you type that in. The next time you think you've forgiven them for them. Nah, you've forgiven them for yourself. I dare you. Holding grudges equals heart disease, or holding grudges equals high blood pressure, whichever one you prefer. Or you can type them both in. Check it out. The emotionally intelligent know to avoid this at all costs, right? Letting go of a grudge not only makes you feel better, but it can improve your health. Yeah, stress equals heart disease and high blood pressure. Stress can turn your life into a big mess. That's true, Dennis. Stress equals heart disease or high blood pressure. Holding grudges equals high blood pressure. Holding grudges equals heart disease. I dare you type that in and give us a share. Make sure you spread the word. I can't tell you how much of that is in our community. But check it out. That's holding grudges against somebody else. Here's what's wild. The next one is you don't let go of mistakes. You don't let go of mistakes. That's number 6. If you have low EQ, you not only hold grudges against other people, you hold grudges against yourself. You don't let go of mistakes, man. Emotionally intelligent people distance themselves from their mistakes. Now, they still use them as a learning tool. They don't forget the mistake, but they keep their distance. They keep the mistakes at a safe distance. Handy enough to refer to, right? So they can adopt, so they can adjust and adapt, right? They want to keep it close enough to be able to use it as an encyclopedia, use it as a university of adversity. But what we're going to do is not let it hold us down. And yeah, it takes self-awareness to kind of walk this tightrope. You balance in between dwelling in it and remembering, right? Dwelling too long on your mistakes starts to make you anxious. It starts to make you gun shy about busting new moves. But if you forget about them completely, next thing you know, you're repeating the same mistake, right? The key to balance lies in your ability to transform failures into these nuggets of improvement. That's the key. Can you use those hard knocks? It's sort of like a school. Like I always say, I don't have a college degree, but I graduated magna cum laude from the school of hard knocks. This is what makes you want to get up every time you fall down, because you're like, I'm better than I was. Here's number 7. You often feel misunderstood. If you have low EQ, you feel misunderstood. Why? Because you're always trying to be understood. Write this in the comments. Share this with somebody you love. Leaders need to understand. Followers need to be understood. Right? Leaders need to understand. Followers need to be understood. Leaders need to understand. Followers need to be understood. You often feel misunderstood when you have low EQ. When you lack emotional intelligence, it's hard to understand how you come across to other people, right? You feel misunderstood because you don't deliver your message in a way that people can get behind. Even with practice, this is kind of difficult. Emotionally intelligent people know that even when they practice, they ain't going to communicate every idea perfect, right? They catch on, though, when people don't understand what they're saying, so they can adjust their approach and recommunicate their idea in a way that can be understood. You got me? But that leads to number 8. If you have low EQ, you don't know your triggers. Again, this feeling wheel, y'all. Reach out to me if you need the feeling wheel, and I'll just inbox it to you. I don't care if you're on YouTube watching. I don't care if you're on LinkedIn watching. I don't care if you're on Facebook. If you reach out to me, and here's how you can reach me if you're on Facebook or one of them other ones. You can go to Mr. Haziq Ali on Instagram, and I'll get it to you. But everybody has triggers, y'all. Everybody has situations, and can somebody type that in the comments and give me a share? Everybody has triggers. Everybody has triggers. These situations, these people that push their buttons, and now you're acting impulsively. You know, the reason I got into therapy is because I didn't like my buttons being so exposed. I remember comparing it to this Back to the Future movie when I was a little kid, how Michael J. Fox's character, Marty McFly, he would do the craziest stuff if somebody called him yellow. You know, they're like, oh, you scared? You scared to do it? You yelling? You're like, all right, I guess I'll come and rob the bank with you or whatever it is, right? Those were his triggers. He was able to be easily manipulated, right? Check this out. Everybody has triggers. Everybody has situations that make them act impulsively. Everybody has people in their lives that can make them act impulsively, but emotionally intelligent people study their triggers. They study their triggers, and then they use this knowledge so they can sidestep the situation before it gets the best of them. They're like, I know how this movie ends already. Here's the next one, y'all. You don't get angry. You don't get angry. I know y'all are like, well, wait a minute. I thought emotionally intelligent people was always cool as the other side of the pillow. But check it out. Low EQ people don't get angry. Emotional intelligence is not about being nice. It's about managing your emotions so you can achieve the best possible outcome. And sometimes this means showing people you're upset. It means showing people you're sad. It means showing people you're frustrated. Constantly masking your emotions with happiness is not emotional intelligence. Constantly pretending you're full of positivity isn't genuine. It's not productive. Emotionally intelligent people employ negative and positive emotions intentionally in the appropriate situations. You got me? Is this making sense to somebody? Is this making sense? Yeah, everybody has triggers. Sometimes it's a family member. Everybody has triggers. Everybody has triggers. Here's number 10. Here's number 10. You blame other people for how they make you feel. You even say stuff like that. This is how you make me feel. Check this out. Nobody can make you feel a way. Emotions are coming from inside. You get that? Now, it's tempting to attribute your feelings to the actions of other people. But I'm going to tell you right now, you must take responsibility. It might not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. You must take your God-given ability to respond, not just react, but respond. Nobody can make you feel anything you don't want to feel. Thinking otherwise is just going to hold you back. And this is the last one I got for you this morning. This is the last one I got for you this morning. Make sure you reach out to me on Instagram, Mr. Haziq Ali, if you want the feeling wheel. Last one I got for you is that you are easily offended. You're easily offended. If you have a firm grasp on who you are, it's difficult for somebody to say or do something that truly offends you because you already know hurt people, just like you know, and write this down, somebody, healed people heal people. I dare you type that in and give it a share. We love saying hurt people hurt people. What about taking responsibility? You so fly, you so highly evolved. Well, why don't you take the time out to prove it? Healed people heal people. Maybe you give them an experience that shows them how a healed person responds to their nonsense. Why don't you show them how a healed person completely let that go off their back like water off a duck, right? Emotionally intelligent people are self-confident, which allows them to be open-minded, which means now they got rhino skin. They got pretty thick skin. When you're emotionally intelligent, it takes a lot to get you. You might even poke fun at yourself. Instead of somebody crack a joke about you, like Hazik, you always, fill in the blank here. Maybe you laugh at it like, yeah, I be tripping. I'm wild. That's emotionally intelligent. Instead of, who are you talking to? I don't do, and you getting all defensive and stuff. Listen, maybe you crack the same joke about yourself. Maybe you let other people make the jokes about you because what? You're mentally healthy and you can draw the line between humor and degradation. All right, man. Scale of 1 to 10. Was this helpful? Did y'all write this down for real? Did y'all write this down for real? You're like, whoa. Did y'all write this down? Scale of 1 to 10. 10 is I'm going to use this. Let me see it. Millionaires, unlike your IQ, your EQ is highly malleable. You can train your brain by repeatedly practicing these new emotionally intelligent behaviors, right? This is what builds the pathways needed to make them into habits. I don't know if y'all noticed. First, we did habits 2 weeks ago. Now we're doing emotionally intelligence. I'm talking about the Kaizen Academy. We did habits last weekend, and then this weekend we're doing emotional intelligence. Because what I want you to understand is that your emotional intelligence is highly malleable. That means we can mold it. Like Play-Doh. Y'all remember Play-Doh back in the day? You can mold your EQ. As your brain starts to reinforce the use of these new behaviors, the connections that were supporting the old self-destructive behaviors start to die off. Before you know it, you're a whole new person, right? Man, my children love telling me how I'm completely different since therapy. I'd be like, watch it now. All right. This wasn't a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde story. You know what I mean? Relax. But I do want you to understand you can transform yourself. If you put a 10, a 15 in the comments, P.O., I don't think you've ever been to a Kaizen Academy class. I want to challenge you to come rock with us. Yeah, Sade. Y'all want to be on the Kaizen Academy this weekend. No doubt about it. All right, y'all. It's affirmation time. Let's get it. Hey, man. Hey, Pastor D Money. That's right. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed. Or the way I always say it is you either got to expand your mind to match your goals or your goals will shrink to match your mind. Did y'all see my TED Talk yet? Y'all like, we see him every morning. We don't need to see no TED Talk. You might want to check out the TED Talk. That joint cool. All right, it's affirmation time. Let's go. It's affirmation time. Let's go. I gave you 4 keys in my TED Talk of increasing your self-esteem, like how to reset your mindset. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy some of the stories I told and stuff like that. So if you haven't checked out the TED Talk, throw it on your to-do list, man. All right, it's affirmation time. It's affirmation time. Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay. Y'all see the TED Talk? Y'all ain't rocking with your boy. It's all good. All right, it's affirmation time. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it, man. Take your cool off. You'd be surprised. Sometimes the things you say to yourself are the only positive things you're going to hear the whole day. Most people never get a standing ovation after their high school graduation. You know that? The rest of their life, man. That's why you get songs like, damn, homie, in high school, you was the man, homie. What the heck happened to you? It's because most people stop developing. Most people stop studying themselves, y'all. To know thyself is the beginning of all knowledge. You hear me? So when you're giving this good stuff to yourself, yesterday on Dear Millionaire, I don't know if y'all joined the text message system, right? Yesterday on Dear Millionaire, we put out this quote. We was like, it was from Robert Kiyosaki, dude that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He was like, it's not what you say out your mouth that determines your life. It's what you whisper to yourself that has the most power. So come on, let's do these affirmations. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. I am so